Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's IPC lessons. I hope you're all safe and well, and hopefully this will be the last week that we have to present any lessons online. Looking forward to seeing you all back. What I thought we would do to begin with today is to introduce our learning intention. Okay, and that is this week. It's to build on our knowledge of plants from last week. And parts of a plant from last week, and I want us to be able to know and explain the life cycle of a flowering plant. Okay, first of all, what I want you to do is look at the diagram on the next slide, and we have to think about, can you remember the parts of the plant from last week? How many of them can you do on your own? If you have a look at the plant there, the picture there, I'm going to give you probably 2 or 3 minutes to have a look at this, and then we'll come back together and I'll reveal the answers. Okay, there's only one of them that's a little bit tricky. The rest of them we definitely addressed and definitely talked about last week. Okay, so press pause now and press play again in 2 minutes time. Off you go then, guys. Okay, well, I'm not going to go through this in too much detail. Hopefully it'll just jog your memory a bit from last week. If I just move the box out the way, and the box out the way here, you can see that each letter represents a part of the plant, and we did talk about all but one of these, I think, last week. Okay, so just check to make sure that you had the right answers, and if you didn't, just spend maybe a couple of minutes just re-familiarizing yourself. Be really useful for the future. Okay, so there we go. Just press pause now while you're having a quick look, and press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, welcome back. Well, as I mentioned earlier, today we're going to be looking at the life cycle of a flowering plant. Initially, though, I think the important piece of key information is the word cycle. And I've got on the slide here, what does it mean? Where have you heard it before? Now, lots of us will probably use the word bicycle. Okay, lots of you will recognize the word recycle. And some of you might have heard about something called the water cycle. You might not. But in all of these, the key word is cycle, and it means to go round in a circle. So, for example, bicycle, we know when we turn our pedals, they go round in a circle. In the same way, both wheels, the prefix bi means two wheels going around in a circle. Recycling, recycle, it means to reuse, to use over and over again. So we're encouraged to recycle our plastic and our paper and our cardboard so that it can be pulped down and reused rather than have to make new, in terms of looking after our planet. And the last one, the water cycle there, was where, for example, the water that's in the oceans and in our rivers evaporates, so turns to gas, okay, moves up into the atmosphere, and then as it condenses or cools, it falls as rain, which finds its way back into the rivers and oceans, and then it starts all over again. So it will be evaporated, cooled, or condensed, rain, back into the oceans and rivers, and then it'll go round again. So it means to go round in a complete circle. Okay, and that's really important for today's lesson, because we're going to be looking at how plants continually are recycling life, I suppose, is the life cycle. It's going around in a circle, and we'll aim to show that in this morning's lesson. Okay, the first thing are that the seeds might be planted. Okay, so if we were to say that we would go out and plant seeds in a garden, we cover them with soil. We make sure that they are kept warm, dark, and we add water to them. This encourages the first stage, germination. Germination is when a seed under the soil, the seed case splits open, and the seed starts to produce roots and shoots. Okay, the roots are obviously to anchor it to the ground, like we talked about last week, and the shoots turn into the stem and ultimately into the flower. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, we've just covered there, where the flower puts out roots. And then as the shoots grow, we move into step three, which is where leaves start to grow. Okay, leaves start to grow. And also at the top of the stem, as the plant grows, a bud will start to appear. Now that bud, when we move into step four, will be will eventually turn into the flower. Okay, now when the flower opens, okay, and it's all brightly coloured to attract those insects, just like we talked about last week, it's ready, it's producing pollen, it's producing seeds inside. That's where the seeds will then, the insects will come. Some of the seeds will stick to the insects and the insects will carry them off. Some of them will be blown by the wind. Some of the seeds will be blown by the wind. Some of them might be collected by humans and planted somewhere else. And as much as we don't like to say it, sometimes even animals will eat the seeds. They'll walk away and then they poo them out. Okay, and when they poo them out, those seeds then will get planted somewhere else. So seed dispersal is the very last stage. And then we go back to the beginning because the seeds will have moved. They'll get planted either wildly or deliberately by humans. And then the process starts again. So where I talked about cycle earlier on, going around in a circle, you can clearly see how the seeds are planted, germinate, roots, shoots, leaves, flower, seed dispersal, and then it goes back to the beginning and starts again. Now, if you wanted to watch a little video on this to help clarify the life cycle of a flowering plant, then you can either follow the link below, or if you go to the learning page on the IPC lesson folder on the website, there will be an automatic link there that will enable you to watch a BBC bite-sized video that just talks you through the life cycle of a flowering plant. So if you want to do that, that's fine. You can either do it after the lesson or you could do it now if you wish. If you want to do it now, you'll have to press pause and then go watch it and then come back to the lesson again. Okay? Okay, so independent task. Now we're going to be looking at having a go at producing a comic strip today. So a bit of fun, but we want the comic strip to explain the life cycle of a flowering plant. So if I just quickly click to the box, this is what you will have on the school website. If you want to download it, you're more than welcome to. If you want to draw it, 6 boxes, not a problem. Okay, so they're there and they're ready for you to look at. If you're in school, you'll be using this set of 6 boxes. And as I say, the comic strip, the idea of it is that it's going to explain the life cycle of a flowering plant. So you might want to use the video to help you this morning. You might want to pause it on where we had the diagram earlier on of the 5 stages of the life cycle of the flowering plant. And I want you to try and draw and create a comic strip. Now you will see that there are 6 boxes on the sheet. The reason being is that I want it to be quite clear in your comic strip that everything goes round in a circle. So that where this will be box 1, to do with planting seeds and germination, I also want box 6 to be the same. Or if you don't want to draw the same thing again, because it'd be really good if you could, if you don't want to draw the same thing again, I want you to explain why box 6 would be the same as box 1. Okay, and it's all about that going around in a complete circle. All around that going around in a complete circle. So so that's what I want you to do with your comic strip today. And as I said there, use all the boxes. As I've explained, there's an extra box. You could remember to use or you must remember to use pictures or diagrams. You could put labels on them. And I want you to explain each step properly. There is a gap at the top where you can put the writing in there if you want to, and have your pictures and diagrams below. Plenty of room. Sorry, you got a quick flash of spelling there. That was because I'm making all the videos at the same time. Apologies for that. What I want you to do as well, when you're making sure you're doing this, use colour. Make it bright, colourful, and get into the habit of producing boxes for comic strips. It will be really useful in English a little bit later in the term. Okay, so hopefully you know what to do. Don't forget, stop the video and use the videos, wind back the video a bit if you need to look at the 5 stages of germination. Roots, stem growing, flowering, and then seed dispersal. So you've got all of those things to look at and include in your comic strip. But please remember, box 6 should be the same as box 1, or at least be explaining why we've gone back to the beginning and starting again. It's all about the cycle. Okay? Take care, everybody. Hope you have some fun making this. I look forward to seeing some of your work. Okay? Take care then. Bye-bye.